to the SpeakInCOAD podcast. SpeakInCOAD podcast. Today we're going to talk about the spirituality and the occult. Friday the 13th. We're going to keep it interesting. Welcome to the SpeakInCOAD podcast. I am your temporary host, Theodore Dini. As always, the illustrious Code Conspiracy of a Duck Bomb. And making his grand appearance, Biz Murky Jr. BeatBizzy. So, fellas. In the words of Cody Rose, what do you want to talk about?
You want to get spooky?
Let's get spooky.
Let's get spooky. That could be the name of the episode.
I couldn't remember the rest of the theme song.
All right. So we do this as like a little bit of an icebreaker. This segment's called "What's in Yo Cup," and we I disappeared. So this podcast is brought to you by and sponsored by the Business Party podcast. My buddy, Business Party. He's patriotic. He talks a lot of crap, and he loves his bourbons and his drinks. And
I see the connection.
And he loves his music. He loves his music. He's really good at music. So he plays guitar. He plays everything. Does all that stuff. So thank you, Scott Business Party, for sponsoring the podcast.
Yes,
I'm drinking some kombucha because I had some Chipotle, aka Chipotle, and I'm not trying to poople my pants. So I figured kombucha would kind of settle it, and I don't want to get too burpy, so I'm just taking little sips.
I feel so stupid because I just got a Chipotle my pants. Oh man, that was good.
You ever had kombucha?
No, I have not.
Yeah, I've never partaken.
My cup is Inca Tell a Story. It has all like these little spooky characters, Frankenstein, weird lady riding some ostrich. And I'm just trying to rehydrate and drinking too much soda and lemonade. So I got a little bit of
My cup is a smart water because I'm brilliant, and that's the only water I drink. This is not sponsored yet. Whatever, man. I'm addicted.
Yeah, it's called water. Get a Brita. I'd rather get sponsored by Brita or Pure.
Okay, dude.
I don't know. So, any current events or spooky stuff you guys want to talk about? And it could just be something subtle. It doesn't have to be anything like. We'll go into the deep dive. The deep dive is like our main topic. That's why we brought on BeatBizzy, so we could talk about this topic with us. He's gonna whisper it in our ears, and we'll say it for him.
I have something on topic but off topic. Boxes sound like kids when they laugh.
That's
Yes. Mm-hmm. And so think about all the time about you heard like you get real mad out, you're gonna pop just running around in the woods.
Or skinwalker.
Yeah. And the way the ones look, you're on the skinwalker.
Yeah.
They're kind of thinking things
Any other? Did you guys want to talk about anything specific? Did I trick you into coming for this episode, or did I kind of like talk it up?
Trick me?
Yeah.
No, I don't feel tricked.
He's
asked me many times to be on this podcast.
I had to pay him.
I don't feel tricked at all.
I had to feed him a steak
Yeah, maybe bribed with
And he
sweets.
He's like, I gotta go home. I have to poop. I can't be on. I'm like, no, we just ate. We're gonna
I'll
eat
just give you a couple
It's either that or Mario.
There's a
Kart.
5-gallon bucket right there with the seats. Yeah, Mario Kart.
We can talk about what was that dog man mentioned maybe?
Oh, so
I don't know if that's a
That'll probably be a different one.
That's a reality show.
Yeah, I talked with this guy. His name is. He just joined our Discord recently, and he's a part of all these other Discords that we're part of. Or I follow and stuff. But his name is Starfox. I think it's Kenny Starfox, but he has like a lot of information on Symbolism. Yeah, that sounds like something though.
That's Coach of the Bulls is pivotal.
No, but there was like a cartoon.
The Denzel.
Yes,
Wow.
that's what I was thinking. When I heard his last name, I was like, what? But he has a ton of information. He's gonna try to bring a lot of his stuff to the podcast. So we're gonna do like a werewolves and werewolf movies, and just the idea of just werewolves in general, and like how that was like the only horror movies that I enjoyed watching. I would be too scared to take out the garbage afterwards, but I was like, I was too afraid to cuddle with my dog afterwards too.
You say that reminds. Speaking of too scared, I was helping my brother do some work, and the area we were working in, I stepped outside and it had been stormy, and the way the clouds looked, it was like so ominous, like some ungodly thing would like appear, and I was like, I looked up, I saw that, and I immediately like kept my eyes because I didn't want something to actually appear. I know I'm 37, I'm a grown man, I shouldn't be afraid of the night sky. But I was like terrified. The woods were like dark and surrounding us, and I'm like, some evil spirit is just gonna reach down and just as I get, let me throw this garbage away and get
You didn't have
threw
to.
it over the
You
garbage.
dated yourself and you didn't have to. You could have said I was 12. I didn't know any better. He's like, it was last week.
Yeah.
That's why it's so vivid. The way the sky looked, I'm like, that just looks like a demon would come through there. And I got back inside that boat last. Just
Man, there was I'll see if I can find a clip of it talking about how demons can like take the form of anything in everything. So like, yeah, but it was like,
well, it makes sense if demons are fallen angels. Because think about it, like God spoke to people as burning bushes, and Satan was a snake when he talked to Eve. So if we and then think about it, like if they come to you talking nonsense,
yeah,
trying to get you to believe them and you don't, who are you going to tell? Oh yeah, this 3-headed goat came up and told me to murder people. Come here, I have a nice little jacket that wraps around real tight.
Yeah.
You can put it on.
Well, they still make jokes about the burning bush. Like, what were you smoking? What are you, Moses? What were you
It's on day 800 with no sleep, listening to people
Yeah,
complain and whine.
I'm trying to think something that happened maybe topical or in the news that kind of fit the creepy narrative.
I have like all these different topics on Instagram, and I'm trying to remember where I would have saved it. You know, and honestly, what happens is I'll save stuff and go to show people later, and it's completely gone. And I'm like, and it's always like, well, the user must have deleted it because they didn't feel comfortable with. It's like, no, get the heck out of here.
No, stop. Well, I think I'm the wrong shade.
So great. Oh,
I just happened to look at it. Like, I just,
You're
him.
in the silhouette.
yeah. It was like a video of clothes. And
just clothes.
yeah. I've tried to save them from, or I send them from my personal Instagram. No, I still haven't even watched these. And yeah, didn't send me anything. Yeah, I don't know.
Your messages later.
I know.
I'm finally getting a laugh emoji. I'm like, that's been 2 weeks ago.
He gets 16 in a row. He's like, what the heck? What liking my stuff? You're making my phone go
You
off.
learned from me, apparently.
Yeah, I
I
started
probably
taking off.
have to send him 16 messages today.
Yeah, that's what
What I wonder about is how much real life, whether it's occultic or whatever that might have happened in someone's personal life that is in the movie making business or the music making, and they intertwine their experience with, like, you know, not make believe, but like a fictional storyline. Like we were talking the other day about how some records, some like master records,
Yes.
got weird stuff in them, like weird recordings that might have been like actual, like
Wasn't that a John Todd thing?
John Todd was more on the side of like, because obviously in the 70s rock and roll was like exploding.
Yes.
And whenever something's trendy and exploding like that, everybody's pushing the envelopes. Yeah. But he was basically saying like all rock and roll is occultic. It all plays into the occultic agenda, and like he said that they would take the masters. Some of these, not every recording company.
Let's just deep dive into this.
Okay.
Let's jump in the deep end. We're already going that direction.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you handle my light vest? We just had snorkels and stuff, and we just
No, hopefully not a snorkel. And you're like, I can't breathe.
I'm just gonna have to close. I'm not
Oh.
going for you. I don't like.
you have them around your ankles. But yeah, let's get into that, because that's what I really wanted to talk to BeatBizzy about, was the idea of the occult type conversations and stuff. We were talking. I was listening. Of course, I'm always listening to Dan Tripoli and the Temple of That podcast, and he had somebody on, and the guy was breaking down all of the different types of the symbolism of music and stuff, like you were saying with rock and roll. Like, you remember how like they would always, like, you would hear movies like, oh, rock and roll is the devil's music and all this stuff. Then you start getting older and you're like, maybe they were on to something.
What I think is they take the most popular music at the time, and that becomes the devil's music. Because, again, how I was just saying, you know, like, oh yeah, you're talking to a burning bush, you must be crazy.
Yeah.
So if you tell people, I heard this listening to this song, who's going to believe you?
Yeah.
Like, it's just a song. Why would a song give you suggestive messages? As of today, rap right now is taking that role.
Yes.
So whatever the popular music is, whoever's behind the scenes uses that for subliminal messages, uses that to talk to each other or influence us. And then people notice it and they speak out against it. And then we're like, oh, they're just old. They don't like this type of music. They want to put it down. But it has that occult aspect to it.
Well, it makes perfect sense. It's like when you, because in any of the conspiracy theories, and there's a plethora, there's going to be small truths and untruths throughout all of it. And it's hard to decipher, like, oh my gosh, if that's true, the implications are crazy. But when you think about what you're talking about, if you believe, let's just say, in a base spiritual understanding of like good and evil, the moral principles, God, Satan, you know, the Antichrist would be exactly that. He would want to take whatever Jesus did on the earth and perverse it and twist it up. So I want to be glorified just like Jesus. So he takes every influencer. We talk about the Epstein compromise, you know, that whole agenda where you're basically taking anybody of power or influence and you're compromising them.
Yes.
Do the same thing in the music industry, do the same thing in the movie industry. They don't have to know they're in an occult or worshiping or doing ceremonies, but they are serving the agenda. And I think you spoke right into that. It's like, go after the stuff that is the biggest influence. So in the rap game, you're going to get all, like, Tory Lanez, was it?
Yeah.
Yes.
You want all the big names that are getting attention because
Little Uzi Vert. What was the other one? Doja Cat.
Yeah, because she has that new song with it, and she had dressed like the devil.
Mm-hmm.
Though I've watched the video and I see more of that girl. But I'm a nerd comic book nerd. Not a full comic book nerd, but enough.
And those are
that,
the
like,
things.
Yeah, so like, which one is it though?
Yeah.
Is she being like throwing her Satanism in our face, or are we reading too much into it? And like, she may like comic books or whoever helped her gave her the concept of the video.
It's almost perfectly obscured so that you can handle both. You can go with it, whatever lane you want. So
Yes.
We're definitely high feelings like symbolism. Oh, it's just comic book fun, guys.
It's that like fine thin line that
Yeah.
you can fall either way.
So what there is with the music industry and movies and all that stuff with the Illuminati or whatever, the occult, all that stuff, there is a thing, there are different steps. So there is a sacrifice step. There is a what's it called when you're like embarrassed, when they embarrass you?
Oh, like a shaming ritual.
There's shaming rituals. It's not quite shaming, it's something else. Humiliation ritual.
Okay.
So there's certain things in movies and music and TV, like once they do that, you're just like, wait a minute, what the heck is this? Or like,
well, you wonder why it's so popular in colleges with fraternity,
and they spank them and stuff with the paddles and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like now you serve us in a way. Obviously, it's not like that, it's not sinister every time, but it's like now we know so much about you that you can't go against us, or we're gonna.
And it has the whole ritualistic aspect.
Yep.
The robes, the masonry stuff, like
Where did Skull and Bones come from?
Yeah.
Yale and Princeton. These are the clubs that were established a long time ago.
But what you're saying is like the you worship us now kind of thing, and you're saying like the black robes and stuff. But there's other rituals where they don't show the public, where it's like, hey, we drugged this guy and we pretty much had our way with him. And then we say, here's a contract. It's like a contract out, and the dude's like, ooh, this contract's so much. This is horrible. Why would I want this? Like, this isn't gonna help me at all. Well, here's a video of you getting boned by like 4 dudes. And do you want that out or do you want this? And I'm just like, all right, I'm doing it. And then I have a few videos of there's this. I mean, since we're talking about the Illuminati and stuff.
By the way, just as it doesn't have to be always like some crazy sexual. I mean, obviously with the Epstein thing, it's like you want to go to jail for what you did, or do you want to, play along? But it could be financial, crimes you didn't even realize you were committing, deals that you did that were, tainted. It's like, oh, sorry we did that, but you could just go along with what we want, or you could, face some legal.
Remember that contract we had you sign about your shoe deal? Well, you had signed saying that you knew that we were going to use child labor, that you were.
Oh man, yeah.
And then, like, how do you disprove that before it gets out there to the public? Because even though the law is supposed to be what governs us, court of public opinion comes first.
Yep.
And so, even if it's proven that you were innocent in it, by the time it's proven, everybody's back is turned on you, and you've been shunned.
Yeah, crazy to think about in real time. Like globally, it's almost like. Is this the first time an issue with the internet and how everything's so unified, at least on communications front, that like everything's working perfectly to where nobody can really hit past the ceiling without dealing with some sort of serious compromising and
Well, and then what you said to the internet, I love listening to interviews and people talk about, oh, TikTok this and Twitter that. We just need to get rid of the internet because people are crazy. And I'm like, you realize that before we had the internet and could email and tweet, people were literally stalking each other through mail and phone calls and sending death threats to the president.
We're still the same people with sinful nature.
It's just now we have like instantaneous, we can do it instead of like, oh yeah, well, I wrote that back in March, I didn't, everybody's in. My opinions change. No, like now in that moment, we send it out there for the max to see instantaneously. That's what makes it worse. But it's like we were horrible before the internet. The internet just exposes us all.
Yeah, it just amplified it.
Yeah.
So I got some clips I wanted to show you. These are just like some of the Illuminati, like just symbolism in music.
These are always juicy.
So I just wanted to give you some ideas of that. Let's see if I can pull that up. So here's the Tory Lanez one. I'll play this for everybody, just so we got an idea. I'll play a couple other ones too, but
Tory Lanez has been arrested and is facing 20 years in prison, but just listen to some of the things he was saying.
Tory Lanez goes to jail. They gave y'all all the facts of the juice of Tory Lanez going to jail and this, that, and the third, and Megan getting arrested and da-da-da-da. 2 days after that, I get a call from Rock Nation that says, yo, we heard you're gonna make a statement about what happened, and it'd be in your best interest if you don't make that statement. So I'm like,
I'm telling you, this court system is not for justice. It's about wins and losses, and they do dirty to do whatever they can. Jay-Z let me speak to you.
He has kids.
Rock Nation!
Yes.
Because my son refused to sign a Rock Nation deal with you.
Illuminati trying to get me, nigga. But I'm the one they gotta spare like a Britney, nigga. Through the hot and cold, I would never sell my soul. And if I gotta die for that, I'm dying Christian, nigga.
And then, so there's this guy too. What is his name? Not Trippie Redd. I can't remember his name. He kind of fell off, but this is the Symbolism.
Lil Pump flashes money to a
The other thing is, I never heard of the Dead group, but I've definitely heard of Red Shoes being pedophilia. Or
Yeah, with the Pope and all those people.
Yeah.
Like there's the Red Shoe Club,
The Podestas, yeah, all that stuff.
That's new to me. The Red Shoe Club.
Oh. Yeah, basically, it's like it's just another suit to identify you're in the club.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then here's. Oh,
real quick though, was that in a video, a music video?
So that's what I'm saying. They're putting it in plain sight.
Well, they've gone overboard though. Like every single Super Bowl halftime show, any real big stage is like immediately like people are like, is this a ritual?
Yes.
How is that even possible that every big name across all these genres of music are doing the same, like that Sam Smith guy?
Yeah.
That dude, I remember when he was singing like he was like a R&B,
He was like a good singer.
Yeah. What in the world?
Yep. So then there is, if you don't believe in demons.
Believe demons are real? Check out Billie Eilish manifest one right on stage. She ain't hiding it. Hey look, demons are real, but Jesus Christ is bigger. And in him, there is nothing to fear.
And who knows, she might just be flexible with it.
Billie Eilish sold her soul and she's not even trying to hide it anymore. Listen to what she says in her song, Bury a Friend.
I gotta sell my soul, 'cause I can't say no, I can't say no.
What debt does she owe? Maybe all of the Grammys she won and the ridiculous amount of fame she has. I mean, her voice is good, but damn. In another music video, she starts off as an angel falling from heaven, crashing to the ground, and waking up as the devil. And as we all know, this is the story of Satan from the Bible.
I can follow right now. No. And then like Lil Uzi Vert, if you say his name really fast, it's supposed to be Lucifer. Lil Uzi Vert.
Oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Wow, I never.
Isn't he the one that also got like the
gem
taken
from his
head?
head? Oh yeah,
that was a great.
Someone stole it.
Somebody robbed
No,
it.
that was beautiful to me. Like, what are you asked for that?
Yeah.
Like you realize the Avengers just came out and we saw what happened to Vision. So
Yeah.
you don't think somebody's gonna come up and just
Yeah, this dude didn't like he didn't glue stick a gem. This dude surgically implanted and somebody just said yoink.
Yeah, that's what I'm like.
But here's him with some of his things. Oh wait, okay, so this is what it's like being in a concert now in 2023, going to like a Lil Uzi Vert concert.
Oh God.
I hope y'all brought enough water with y'all. It's about to get real hot. Yeah. Because with this next song, we ready to enter the shadow realm and into the gates of hell.
Hey, yo, what'd he say?
Yeah!
What'd he say?
So y'all motherfuckers better be ready to sell y'all souls.
Oh, nah, hold on. I think I'm at the wrong concert.
I just need y'all to sing these lyrics with me. Hey, yo, come on, DJ, spin that shit. Yeah! Yeah! Demons. Bro, you ain't just hear what he said. Yo, you demons. Why y'all not listening?
That's crazy.
So I think that's hilarious because then you listen to this guy and this is what he's actually promoting.
I had no idea Little Uzi Vertical sold his soul. Watch this video.
Did I sell my soul? I sold my soul for you. Now figure that out. Tell me that I sold my soul for you.
Listen to what he says about Marilyn Manson, one of the most open Satan worshippers out there.
It's my father, the Pale Emperor.
He is?
Listen here. At age 27, I will leave this earth for this man right here. He's the Pale Emperor.
Uzi also bought a chain of Marilyn Manson's face, and Marilyn Manson reposted it, captioning it Lucifer Rising. He's also been caught posting other satanic things on his Instagram like this. Now listen to what he tells his fans in this concert.
Like I told y'all earlier, you motherfuckers entered the rapture. And if ain't nobody flying up to heaven right now, obviously all y'all motherfuckers going to hell. Right with me.
I feel like it's blatant. It's like right in front of our faces now.
Almost, to a point, is it almost like people trying to jump on the bandwagon?
I don't know.
Like, oh, what's so controversial? It'll get attention on me.
I mean, he's literally talking to his. He knows this is the age of clippableness. Like everything gets viewed, so it's hard to. I wouldn't be surprised if anything he's saying, like all of what he's saying is true.
But there's tons. There's not just him.
But he's taking like a I'm your savior type. Like I sold my soul for you. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, I have no words. That's just creepy as hell.
Really?
Yeah, that was just weird. Yeah, it was weird.
I guess I sold my soul for you. So everything I'm doing, the show, everything is to get you.
Yeah.
Well, we were talking earlier, like the devil tries to copy off of God. So God
everything
sacrificed himself for us.
100%.
So he's like flipping that around.
That's the one firm thing I believe in is that this tangible evil that people talk about, whatever. It's so clear to me that everything the devil's done historically in the Bible, talked about everything is like a perversion of truth, a debasement or a degrading of what is good, or just a flip-flop. Like I think Trump, he just talked about something where he called it, it's like every day is April Fool's nowadays, where it's like the ideas and policies that are coming out of people's minds is insane.
Yeah.
But
you're gonna say anuses.
That's where their heads pretty much reside. But no, like I always call the upside down ever since the Stranger Things. But it is so close to that exact thing. Like if you thought this was good, the opposite is what they're up to.
Okay.
But yeah,
well, those were just some of the clips that I wanted to show you guys. But I remember talking with you about a lot of stuff, and like I feel like we could have recorded 2 hours of conversation downstairs.
Just little snippets.
Oh my gosh, it was such a good conversation, and it brought my
excuse me. Still mind us for 15.
Is that an action verb? Yeah. Is that how you say it? Something like that.
Yeah, maybe that. Yeah. English teachers that we used to have, forgive us, we didn't pay them.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just feels
yeah. Doesn't feel right. But we had some really good conversations about just the different stuff with the occult and the Illuminati, and then you were talking about how it's reversed, or if you wanted to look at it as a Christian perspective, or just a religious perspective of things that are supposed to be good, and then it gets reversed by the devil or demons and stuff like that, are trying to the opposite, the evil people, the occult, the elitists, the Illuminati, whatever you want to call them. They're people that are in charge that are funding things. I just found out that there's a thing called Pay to Slay, and what they do is it's funded by people who have a lot of money, and they pay for people to join a group over in the Middle East right now that they're talking about all over the news, and they want blood from another group of people. So if you're able to pay these people thousands of dollars, if you're a martyr and you kill yourself and other people, then they pay your family. but it's been known that it's getting funded from certain groups of people that are trying to be protected during this entire thing too. So, SpeakInCOAD, so to speak.
It's crazy.
Oh, but yeah, there's a thing. I actually heard that from was Roseanne.
Oh, really?
Barr. She was talking about how it's called Pay to Slay. People from the left, people from the right, it don't matter. They're funding it to make it seem as if we need to go to like a war and go into these things.
Was that on TBD?
Yes.
I need to watch it. I saw a clip of her and him. I'm like, she was like, I gotta watch
it. It was really good, and I like the other guy Adam on the show.
Yeah.
But he plays the antagonist.
Devil's advocate.
Devil's advocate. He always tries to push the negative and try to make it seem like that's the positive thing. And I don't know if that's his part on the show, but it feels that way sometimes.
Yeah.
Because there's only so much that you can hear and go, yeah, that makes sense. And then they go, are you anti-Semitic? And you're like, whoa, what? That's what you got out of that? Like, just because I disagree with something,
it's
doesn't
the same
mean...
game as political. Come on, folks. Just because I disagree with a lifestyle doesn't mean I'm actively prejudiced against you.
Yes. That's 100% true.
It's literally the calling we have is to not be prejudiced and reject people. So it's literally the opposite of what Christ did.
Yeah.
Sadly, there's so many people in the church that do the opposite.
Then
the church gets a bad name for it.
Dude, they bring more people to Lucifer than the occult.
I hate to say that, but yeah, thanks.
But I was just telling this. I firmly believe that a majority of atheists came from like Christian backgrounds, whether Catholic or it's like, oh yeah, my parents made me do that.
Yeah,
and it's always like
or they got hurt.
Or or
affected. You're like, come on.
I mean, even with my brother, the way he saw how some churches did offering, it was just like, this is sick.
Yeah, because I don't think it even mentions it anywhere in the Bible about offering. I mean, besides, but not tithing. They do offerings like they give God like the offering and stuff like that, but more in the Old Testament. But I don't think there was anywhere in the Bible that mentioned tithing.
It's one of them things where it's like, it shouldn't have to be written. Your heart. First of all, to think that God doesn't know your heart. If you're a Christian, then you know God knows your heart. You're doing whatever you do should. I don't know. It's kind of like, how far do you need your hand held? Like,
Is it the 10 or 15%? I want to make sure. It's like, dude,
you have the whole wrong angle.
I do know, like, I'm not sure if it's full scripture, but like, I've always told give what you can. Like some churches do put a monetary value. You have to give this much, and the other one's just like, whatever you can give. They're like, don't go broke, but like if you can. Yeah, and then it's also different when you can see the church actually doing something that benefits the community.
That's
and
100% true. Yeah.
Just some churches like, oh yeah, we're just gonna like, we're getting a new steeple, a new cross, and do this. But then there's other churches like,
big screen TV, camera crew, the music set up. You're like,
what about like the food giveaways and helping people with their bills? And like, there are churches that do that. You know, when we have these fires, there are churches out there that are like, the money that comes from the offering is going to those families and to buying new clothes and toys for those kids. So,
and if I could piggyback anything off of that, when people are like, churches, they get tax exempt, tax free, all this stuff. I understand the disagreement with that, especially if you don't believe or if you don't go to church or you're not a part of anything like that. But if you're a part of it and you're actually seeing people in need get help by people who are not tax or who are tax exempt and stuff like that, you're like, okay, I can see where their heart is and they're actually providing help for other people. And granted, there's people in the church that just go and they just listen, sometimes pass out. I mean, I've been tired of the church. I'm not calling you out, don't worry. But no.
Directly.
You help out so much. But like,
but I do both.
But I mean, hey, you had a long weekend. Usually I take you out the night before and we're drinking spirit and getting our demons full.
Sorry. That was perfect.
He just gave you an excuse. You were attacked.
Yeah, the demon put you to sleep. Yeah, the demon sleep.
I pastored another pastor at a podcast, and he actually said that before. Stop blaming the devil for everything.
Exactly.
He said that. No, it was just you being you.
Yeah.
It's not the devil's fault that you did this or you did that. That's all on you. You don't blame the devil.
Dude, that's like how much do you have to read the Bible with accountability before you realize that it's such a bad place to be where you're just like, oh, you know, I had a heart attack and that devil. It's like, no, you had 12 donuts this morning and steak for lunch.
It's like,
stop attacking me. Yeah.
They were honey buns. They were honey buns. The steak was good.
And it was crisp.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
You're saying
like, who gave it to me? Who gave it to me?
Well, here's a ridiculous circling back to. So we mentioned
we don't circle back. We do call back.
Oh man, yeah.
We haven't changed it now.
I'm sorry. I even
we don't want to be like that
phrase. Oh man.
We start 69.
You can't even like use it. I just freely use it. Anyway. So as we circumvent back, I don't know.
I thought he was going to say,
I thought
he's circumcised.
This is not a Christian podcast. We have our beliefs and we have our faith. But anyway, sorry.
No, so at the very beginning you mentioned John Todd, the master.
Why don't you tell our audience and the people that listen, just give us an idea of what John Todd was, where his background.
Okay,
like how he started.
First of all, I'm no expert on any of this. Second of all, this many years have passed. Many years have passed since I've watched and listened to this stuff. But from what I can, I guess, gather a summarization, he was in the occult and he was pretty high up, and he was like, he talked about having a biological mother, and I don't know how present she was. I mean, she was present, but I don't know how, like, every day. But he mentioned having like an occult. What do you call her?
Was it like a
not like a
witch?
He didn't say anything like witchcraft. He just, I forget the phrase he used, but like a second mother who brought him up into the occult. You know, how they read the Bible, they read all these other, you know, they studied how to be in the occult, and he came up in it, and his real name was Collins, John Collins.
Oh,
and that was
Lance Collins.
Was it Lance?
Yeah.
So that he talks about his family name, you know, that he exited from the occult and all that stuff, talked about how they tried killing him when he did it.
But and the Collins was one of the 13 families.
Yeah, he said he was. Yeah. He said he was part of the Council of 13. So if you've ever seen the pyramid,
and there's something
levels, there's Freemasonry near the bottom, and then you just go up and up and up. Once you get past 33, is it 33 degrees? Yeah.
Yeah.
Once you get up, then now you're in the upper echelon, apparently. With the illuminati. But he talked about how they would actively these studio, these what would you call them? Recording studios, that they're agents.
I know what you're talking about. It's like the record label.
Let's just call
people
them
that run it.
Yeah, let's just say the owner, whatever.
Kind of like a Quincy Jones-esque type person.
Yeah, anybody, like you would think of anybody that has their own record label. These people, the big record labels, by the way. The big record labels would take the master copy of these, you know, hugely successful, later known rock and roll albums, and they would literally put spells in them. What witchcraft spell? I have no idea. That's what's crazy about, by the way. They know way more about Christians in the Bible than we know about their
occultism
and just their literature. Like,
yeah,
I don't know what spells they cast or what they do, but he said they would do that in the building.
And what the masters, just to give you guys an idea, and TBD, just in case, I just found this out, was they got the main copy of the recording. So the original copy of the recording, they take it upstairs and they take it to the man upstairs, which was actually like another floor above the recording studios. And then they would do some sort of witchcraft. They would sometimes play it in reverse or record something in reverse. So that way, when you're able to play it, you could play it backwards too. And you would hear some sort of symbolism type
messages or chants.
Yeah, subliminal messages. That's what I meant to say.
Yeah, they had those rumors about the Beatles. There was something you could play backwards.
I think there was like Pink Floyd or
maybe it's Pink Floyd. Yeah. But yeah, so he said that they, you know, what all the copies are made from, they were putting some spell.
So they take the master first, they put the spells on it, and then they record the master, like they finalize it, and then that's when they send it out to make copies. So they have to have that spell on it first.
And then the copies all carry the spell.
Yeah, that's what they explained it. The guy that I was listening to on Sam Tripoli's podcast was explaining that's what John Todd was talking about. And then I hit up BeatBizzy the other day, and I was like, dude, this is what they're doing. He's like, oh yeah, John Todd talked about that. I was like, oh yeah, that's who they said it was from anyway.
And what's crazy is like you think about, you know, when you think about the 70s, he was talking about this. No one ever. When you think about Illuminati, that stuff just started happening like post 9/11, where people kind of started to wake up to just the government corruption and all this stuff.
Started again when the internet started.
Yeah.
So again, how many people talked about it, spoke about it, were just called crazy, called conspiracy theorists? But now the information flows freely.
You imagine this guy was supposedly exited the occult and is going to these Southern Baptist, deep Southern Baptist churches that have, you're going to catch a lot of judgment if you say something. And he was saying all this crazy stuff to them.
Yeah.
Talking about, you know, a Satanist agenda at the top of, you know, a global agenda to, you know, bring on the Antichrist, basically. It's almost like the occult and followers of Satan read the Bible and they're trying to almost foist into action the prophecies, like, oh, this is what the rapture is supposed to look like. This is what the Antichrist is supposed to do. I have no idea how
force it to make it happen sooner.
When you think about, since we've been alive, it's been like 2 or 3 different times it's supposed to be in the world.
Yeah.
Literally 2000, the computers weren't going to change over.
Yep, Y2K.
Things were going to crash and explode.
Yep, and the Mayans in 12.
Yeah.
It really makes you wonder where the marriage of all this stuff is. But what's really interesting is that as we progress technologically, now you have people coming out talking about frequencies, how music affects you mentally, physically. It's crazy.
Well, not only that, but I won't even mention what it is, but let's just say it's the number 5 and the 7th letter of the alphabet combined. I mean, your phone changed from 4 to 5, so
I had to count.
Yeah, but those specific frequencies actually were what I've heard. I don't know if this is true or not, but what they've said was that those specific frequencies were used as a delivery system for new viruses that came out. So, and each time one of those frequencies was created, a specific virus was spread around that time frame. And it's like you look at this latest one,
and everything sounds crazy until you get to the point in technologically where you're like, oh, I remember when I believed that was crazy, and now look where we're at.
Yeah.
Oh, there was companies who were like, what is Subway.com? Why would Subway need an internet website? This was back in '95 when they were going around my dad talks about being at these seminars, and they're talking about the internet and websites. And I'm like, why in the world would a Subway needed it? Now you realize it's literally...
Now they have an app, and the only way you can get their coupon code is freaking using an app. And then you got 25 apps on your phone just about food in your local area. You're like,
that should be some
you were about to...
something, because you know how you say stuff in plain sight and subliminal messages?
Yes.
How many subliminal messages are from the good side? Like, not saying there's like, well, there is good versus evil, but we talk about like the Illuminati and whoever pulls the strings doing subliminal messages. How many of the people that know no one will listen if they blatantly tell you the truth have put subliminal messages? Because we were just talking about vibrations. What is one of the newest phrases now? Oh, I'll catch a vibe. So is that them prepping us for that, or is that somebody like on our side trying to help me?
Yeah, the desensitization.
Like bringing it to your attention, so you pay more attention to the vibrations you're taking in.
So every single thing, matter has a specific frequency that can disturb it and destroy it. Like there's certain frequencies that they can utilize that would actually melt concrete to the point where you're like, it's freaking concrete, dude, how did that melt? But they have DEWs, direct energy weapons.
Yes.
and they have weapons where there's a heart attack gun that was back in the 60s where they could shoot it at you and it doesn't shoot anything into you or at you physically, but it's an actual frequency that could cause that person to have a heart attack and drop dead. And it's been from the
And I wonder what's going to happen these last, 2-3 years?
Yeah, so
I got sniper heart attack weapons.
Yeah.
They
could do it so much more, like, I don't know. And it's stupid because I feel like I'm crazy saying this.
Yeah.
But it's true. And I could pull stuff up right now.
And not only that, but even
I don't want to get my videos banned, but I could pull it up and it's insane. And I'm sorry to
no
tangent, but I tried to show my parents. I was like, look, I'm gonna look up direct energy weapon. The first videos that came up, I wasn't even looking up a specific place. I was looking up direct energy weapon just to see if I could shove one from a plane. It came up as freaking Maui. All these Maui videos and all of these things saying like misinformation and all this stuff. I'm like, I didn't even pull up Maui. I'm trying to pull up direct energy weapons to show them. It looks like a ball that's at the front of a plane that can shoot a laser. They have them on ships. They have them on all these different things. They have them on satellites. They have them on all these different things. But the only thing that's coming up is Maui because people want to discredit it and put it out as misinformation. And you're like, I'm not even talking about this.
Yeah.
Why is this coming up first? Like they're flooding it with that one, and I'm like, I'm not even trying to bring that one.
It's such a hilarious
Yeah. Well, I was just going back to my thing, like, so are there people like us whose eyes are open who decide to like put their own subliminal messages in to get people's attention toward that?
Yeah.
Because if what we're saying is true, then the government and the people behind the curtain are controlling the information not just put out there and redirecting it so no one believes anything. So who's to say there isn't somebody doing the reverse to them and sneaking the information in there? We just have to be open to catching it, wise enough to pick up the clues.
That is one of the more interesting things is the mass information control mechanism that's in place. Like I just was watching Trump just had his little rally or whatever in New Hampshire, and I was watching it. It was live. It was a live feed. And at the bottom, CNN, it was a CNN affiliate. I don't know. It wasn't like CNN broadcast, whatever. But in the bottom, it was like, some of the claims in this video may allege incorrect or in fact, whatever it was. It was like basically prefacing the video with that might be misinformation, and we know that. It's like, are you doing that on Biden's?
They couldn't fact check him live.
I mean, Biden said,
fact check him live. Do it.
Biden said 100 million people died from guns last year, and it's like, you don't have any Chiron saying this guy might not know what he's talking about. It's just so weird.
I think they just assume we all don't believe in universals.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no need.
You see the way he fell over? Are you really going to listen to him? We don't need to worry. No one's going to believe that.
The other thing I wanted to talk about too was there's people I think that have been part of the occult, or part of the illuminati or and all that stuff. And then once they either get initiated in, they're like, what was I thinking? I made a mistake. I don't want to do this. I don't want to be a part of this. And I wonder if they're too deep in to get out, but they're like, I'm going to release some of this information. Like, for example, Isaac Cappy.
That was a weird one.
He got in through like Epstein's Island, Seth Green, Tom Hanks, all those people. And he started saying that these people are,
Never accepted
alleged.
an invitation.
Did he allege?
Never accepted an invitation.
No.
You know what's crazy about that is I'm pretty sure there was footage, supposed footage of him. It was a guy that had that hair, that type of afro that he had, escorting a child through a hotel.
Yes, that was him.
That hotel was the same hotel that Kanika Jenkins girl got lost in that freezer. They found her dead.
Yeah, where they saw the cameras and she just disappears.
Supposedly, that same hotel. I keep saying supposedly because this is all rumor. I have no idea.
Allegedly.
A lot of allegedly. But they had like some sort of organ
harvesting.
Something going on in that hotel. It was really weird.
They did a documentary, I think, on Netflix about it, and they were trying to make it seem like they were trying to disprove it. So they're like, oh, she was on drugs. Like she was having a mental breakdown. And they're like, it wasn't anything like that. And they
but
tried
no
to
one can
downplay
still explain how she got into an area that only people with access cards can get into a freezer that's supposed to be locked.
You know way more about it than I ever.
But it's one of the
I didn't know about it.
It's so crazy. Even the ones that are almost clear cut, you still question and doubt. I'm crazy to be on this side.
This should be like a segment. You want to hear something crazy, and then just go with it. Like whatever that is. Like
you want to look up something crazy. You probably have seen this.
I don't know. We can look it up right now.
When we talk about vibrations and frequencies, one of the craziest visible, like evidence-based videos that I saw was they would play a certain amount of hertz with water or salt, not salt, even like sand or something.
Yes, yeah.
In the way with
explain that to me. Explain that to me.
Yeah. And there's certain ones that have
it's like crazy.
They make really cool patterns or really nice patterns,
complex
and then other
stuff.
ones are like disturbed patterns.
Oh yeah.
They're like the water's like spiking up really high, where the other ones were like really nice spirals and all this stuff.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm like trying to do it with my hands.
Yeah.
There we go.
And you're nuts if you talk against 5G. Oh, 5G.
We're gonna get
dude, the stuff, even Wi-Fi.
52 minutes in, we're gonna get banned for that. But did you want to talk anything about what's his name, John Todd, or any more?
I mean, basically his background. If you can find his, this is pre-video everything. He was in the 70s, down in the South, going to churches talking about this, and they just recorded it on cassette tapes.
Yes.
So if you find a 4-hour video on John Todd, I suggest listening to it.
And even if you break it up into parts, like if you just do like 30 minutes and then 30 minutes, listen to it 8 times. But
you wouldn't think, and this is just me. I'm not one of them like. I can sit and listen.
Yes.
But it had me completely encapsulated in the story. I mean, just everything he said was insane, because I already had kind of a foundation with, after looking into 9/11, and then I always made this joke. I think the last post I made on Facebook was like 2004, and it was talking about, it was just like this ominous post, like look into the what was it, what Council on Foreign Relations. It's like, look at the members on the CFR and tell me and then I went into Bilderberg and all that, but that's where all this comes from.
I always thought Bilderberg. I always misunderstood it. I thought they were saying Build-A-Bear. I'm like, what's Build-A-Bear?
The Illuminati's and the Bears, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
listening devices from
Bears.
China.
Battlestar Galactica.
There's a screenshot of the invitation I got.
Oh yeah. When TBD got invited to the Illuminati.
Yeah.
We find you to be of great interest. What?
Yeah. On my Instagram, you just like.
Man, somebody's clowning.
That's what I just like. I was like.
I think it's our friend quotes.
Who knows? Who knows? That's why I screenshot it and I sent it to you guys in a message. I'm like, hey, look what I got.
Yeah, I honestly, I don't know if anyone knows what happened to him. Some people say he was set up and he got put in a mental hospital and maybe moved to a jail that maybe disappeared. But
well, do you want to hear a small clip of him talking about aliens and UFOs?
I haven't heard his voice in forever.
Do it. There we go.
Question, can you tell us about UFOs?
My sister, before my wife came around, used to be leader of the state of Ohio, the high priestess there of the whole state. And her little pastime was calling up, supposedly filling the sky with UFOs and watching everybody's excitement. And some of the most outstanding sightings were in the early 70s in Ohio. And she used to laugh about it because she'd be standing in a circle out in the field somewhere calling up demons. And that's all they were angels of light playing games in the sky. Remember, a demon, get the little spooky picture. There are a fallen angel, an unclean spirit. They can assume any form or go into anything except a Christian who walks in the spirit all the time. Know any? Or in other words, a Christian who keeps it under the blood and so on. But they can assume forms, including spacemen or solid objects like flying saucers or so on. That's why when they appear on the radar scope and a jet gets up there, they vanish right in front of the palace eyes because they're nothing but a spirit.
So I'll leave this up here. John Todd in the early 1970s began to speak at at different churches in America. What he had to say was astounding. He announced that he was a former member of a secret and powerful organization called the Illuminati, and that he left it after being saved by Jesus Christ. Okay. He made several audio tapes warning people of the evil plans of the Illuminati before he was framed, imprisoned, and oh snap!
That's exactly what I was talking about. Framed, imprisoned, drugged, and sent to a mental hospital by agents of the Illuminati. He talks
in order to keep them quiet.
He talks about their active assassination attempts, like bombs. Him and his wife surviving, all sorts of crazy stuff.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
So was he? I mean, he's probably killed by now, right?
I would imagine they got. They have.
Anyone know? Sure. Come with John Todd. Jeez, that's crazy.
I wasn't sure that apparently that's the. But we know.
Yeah. So that was pretty cool. I mean, like, you guys can definitely check them out. I pulled this one up on BitChute. I had some up on YouTube, but there wasn't any like shorter clips. They were mostly like 3 hours.
It's crazy. Long. I've listened to so much of John. I've never heard him talk about aliens and how they used to conjure them.
So that's the same one.
Did you ever? There was a guy that did it on tape where he. I think it was a UFO. Yeah, it was like a news thing and everything, and they're out in like this field. They got a few people as witnesses or whatever, but he's like, yeah, I can, I could do whatever he did and have and sure enough, in the sky, there's like this little white, like cloudy looking dome. If you you might be able to find it on YouTube. It's one of them videos.
Let me see.
Man summons UFO in the clouds.
But I'll play this real fast. Let me see if I can find something. Just making sure. Oh no!
Listen, Joe.
Yeah, I removed it.
I'm a bit of a retard.
Yeah,
that's one of my favorites. But I just saw him up in. He just saw him face.
This is what I think he's talking about the.
There's new articles out today where mainstream news is saying, don't talk about powerful elites. That doesn't exist. That's anti-Semitic. What? Again, the establishment is collapsing, and all they can do is call their enemies Nazis when their main patron said the best part of his life was working for Hitler. It was exhilarating. It was happy-making. It was the best time of his life. It was empowering. He feels no remorse. Those are quotes. 60 Minutes. George Soros. I didn't work for Hitler. I don't like Hitler. Both my grandfathers were the Army Air Corps and fought Hitler. You, the ADL, support Hitler lovers. You're the closest thing to Hitler I've ever seen. You're disgusting. You're un-American. And you're dangerous. And you hide your whole New World Order tyranny behind Jews. And Jews are smart enough to figure that out and need to denounce the ADL as a criminal organization out to destroy everybody.
The thing, like, Soros helped the Nazis find Jews. How you could justify or excuse that?
Yeah.
And he's like head of the left, like he's the puppet master of the left. So, what was he? He was talking about something that triggered it. Well, I'll let you do your thing while I try to think.
What's that?
I can still remember spelling.
Oh.
Remember. That's what it was.
Symbolism. Let's just look up more symbolism stuff.
Doing the wrong
whatever. Here's what she had to say about it.
Like one time I did a magazine cover and the lady had me hold something over my eye. And I go, why would I want to do that? And she goes, just everybody does it. I go, okay. So I held a button over my eye and now it shows all these people doing that. And they say they're in the Satan Club. Well, I just did it because the photographer told me to.
Yeah.
And they probably did too.
Yeah.
Well, of course, now looking back, they probably are in the Satan Club. But I didn't know no better. I thought, well, if everybody's doing it, I'll do it. Like one time.
Think about everybody's doing it. I'll do it.
Think about how easy.
Yeah.
But that peer pressure. Imagine you're just a celebrity, even maybe a new celebrity. You're brought into a photo shoot like that. You're just listening.
Yeah.
They could tell you anything, and you're gonna do it.
Yeah. And then what's the other one?
This is in history, part 4. Twin involves former NBA star Kobe Bryant. May he rest in peace. The now canceled television show aired on Comedy Central, Legends of Chamberlain Heights. 8th episode of season 1, titled The End of Days, was aired November 16, 2016. Now let's keep that date in mind. It started off as a normal episode, but then took a sinister turn. And this scene of Kobe Bryant dying in a helicopter crash popped up. Could have been a coincidence. Tell me why this exact scene aired 4 years before Kobe Bryant's death. Kobe died January 26, 2020, and this episode aired November 16, 2016. Now let me show y'all the clip.
Oh shit! It's Kobe Bryant! Help me! Just pass me the trophies and we'll pull you out! Pass!
Here's a.
Sorry, too soon.
Did you ever hear about his? I can't remember who talked about it. If it was his wife or no, it was somebody that was friends with him. But he would openly talk about wanting to die young because of how what would you call it? Like it solidifies your legacy. It makes you that much more of an idol. That's so creepy.
And then I'll just play one more.
Like how many cartoons have to question
who's
doing these cartoons?
Yeah.
How do you think about that? A helicopter crash with Kobe, and it just so happens that just think about who dies in helicopter crashes, people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not every day.
No, it's not.
That's insane. I've never seen that one. Legends of Chamberlain Heights.
Yeah, and then I'll put this one real quick. See if this works.
Oh boy, Paul. Yeah.
He said they just put it in our eyes or put it in our faces. Like right when he sits down.
Oh my goodness! And he even did like you could almost see the sixes. Because you ever what was it, Mickey Mouse? You ever see the Disney?
Yeah,
those 3 6s are everywhere,
yeah,
man.
Definitely. And then this, wow, you think we're good with music and all that stuff?
I mean, you could spend a week straight.
I know.
Never shut the stream off.
Yeah, I mean, this is though just different stuff, but yeah, I think that is good enough for our episode.
Watch your John Todd, folks.
Yeah,
or not watch. Listen.
Do you want to give a thought for the day? Yeah. Whoa. Do you want to be spooky? This was supposed to be a spooky episode. Last minute, we reached out to BeatBizzy and TBD, and they're like, "I'm down." My dog's over on the bed, snoring.
What a dude!
Perfect timing.
She knew what's up. She's like, "I'm here." Yeah. I ain't sleeping. Quit lying on me.
Yeah.
I think I can find something to.
It doesn't have to be spooky, but if you wanted it to be spooky today, I was gonna talk to you guys about Jason.
Dude, that Kobe clip was the spooky thing.
Yeah,
that caught me off guard, dude.
Yes,
because you know how the Simpsons have been doing this for years. That one's like straight on the nose.
Yeah.
I've never seen that show that did that. Like,
yeah, never heard of that. Off. And what did it have 3 episodes? I've never heard of it.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Yes, sir.
We got the music playing us out.
Ooh. Some disappointments are necessary.
Yeah, that's what all of them are. They're positive quotes. They're sometimes inspirational. Sometimes.
Yeah. Here's one.
Thought-provoking.
Don't ever let anybody tell you Christianity's a crutch. It's the hardest life to live. Period.
Is that your So the segment that we do is Thought for the Day, TBD.
Okay.
BeatBizzy Thought for the Day. But then we'll do our outro and stuff.
Nice.
So thank you BeatBizzy, for coming on there finally.
Pleasure's all mine.
Love you, man. You need anything, definitely come on again.
Yeah, for sure. 2 minutes away from
Yeah, I know. I'm gonna get you a new TBD, last minute notice. We couldn't get Chente in here. I freaking screwed up the recording
He's
again.
right behind me, hiding in the picture.
Yeah, he's snoring in the back. But yeah, we'll definitely get Chente up to speed on all this stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But TBD, thank you. You got any words of wisdom or anything you want to say besides talking about it?
This is Theodore.
This is C.O.A.D, Conspiracy of a Dead Man. Stay safe, stay blessed, and keep on questioning. Yeah.